Been doing it for 25 years, refining luxury and performance, and it's not just on the course. They've got you covered with everything you could possibly imagine at Peter Millar. It's when you leave the golf course, your lifestyle, whatever it requires, they've got it at Peter Millar and petermillar.com. Speaking of requiring something, because, you know, look, you do a U.S. Open, you take the ferry over, you do the Travelers. Without Alex Orr having product available, Ryan Lavner will be going to the bullpen to bring out a shirt that has already been played. No, not today. Look at him, fresh, the man in black on a Monday morning because the product was there from Alex Orr. Am I wrong or am I wrong? Or am I right?
G-Dub, I brought 14 shirts, was not anticipating a 15th. As you mentioned, shout out Alex Orr. This is the only clean thing that I have on my body right now, if that's a little bit TMI, but yes, we're here on a Monday.
You're here on a Monday. Gates will open at 8:30. Let me start with the conversations that you had, and I know that Rich and Brandel were there late as well. And when you finished with Scottie Scheffler, the camera's rolling. There's Bennett, who's growing up literally before our eyes. Give me a sense of kind of state of mind. Look, they go home, they go to sleep, they wake up. You have no idea. We have no idea what we're going to get. But what did you think, starting with Scheffler, in terms of where he was about a sense of, being relieved, being satisfied, pleased? Give me a sense of where do you think his head was when it was over last night?
I think it's interesting. I think both players were relieved to even force overtime here at the Travelers Championship as it relates to Scottie. I mean, he made 3 huge par putts inside 10 feet ever since the weather delay moved in. So I think he felt a little bit fortunate to even be in that position, given the surge. Like Viktor Hovland, I thought was relieved as well. He had 4 bogeys in the first 10 holes, a little bit scrappy, made 2 unbelievable birdies on 14 and 15 after the weather delay. And we see it often on the PGA Tour, don't we, Gary, where players get a weather delay, they get a suspension, they have a 90-minute break just to a little bit to have a reset, refresh, and regroup. And that was certainly to the benefit of Viktor Hovland, who just came out so much sharper after the break.
He did, and I was mentioning, Ryan, but before we went to commercial break, not only did he make the bogeys, like the calling card that he can always lean on, he's such a superior iron player. He was as bad as anybody. He was 71st strokes gained approach yesterday. 4 bogeys and 71st in approach play. I don't care if you're first or 12th in the Travelers, you ain't winning. So he's got to feel pleased that he leaned on other things to get him here, right?
Absolutely. I mean, his distance control early in the round was way off. He tugged the approach on the back 9 and made what was a really sloppy bogey to a short-sided pin. He knows he absolutely can't do that. Look, I think his putter carried him for at least the first couple of rounds here at the Travelers Championship. The biggest takeaway to me, though, Gary, this is a player in Viktor Hovland who has really struggled off the tee over the past 3 years, has lost his way. You look at what he's doing from a strokes gain perspective the last couple of years, really slid down. He's outside the top 100 in that category. You never would have believed that in 2023 with some of the really great tee shots that he was hitting, the sort of the bullet fades that he could rely on over and over and over again to become one of the best players in the world. That shot's back, and he has full confidence in it now, which I think is a remarkable improvement, remarkable progress for a player. This week, again, at a golf course where if you can put it in the fairway and hit it 300 to 325, you can really give yourself a lot of scoring chances. Viktor Hovland is first in the field in strokes gained off the tee. Just a dramatic improvement. It's given him so much confidence to be able to hit the shots that he wants coming out of the windows that he's envisioning.
No, you're absolutely right. I was pointing out, how well he's driven it on 18 in particular, just striping it all 4 days. And just to make it clear, your point about where he sits this season, 104th in strokes gained off the tee. And yet this week he is first. And I mentioned also the up and down that he had on 15, strokes gained around the green, the chipping he's done. He hadn't been in many bunkers, which can also be a challenge for him. Meanwhile, for Scheffler, Ryan, I think the fist pumps that we saw from him with the par saves that he made, if anybody wonders where the joy is, like when it's over, why doesn't he bask in it? The joy is in what that was. the par saves, that's the most fun he's going to have all week. Like if he wins today and he gets a trophy, that'll be less fun than the par saves.
He's just always up for the fight, isn't he? I mean, he's inevitable. He's relentless. He's irrepressible. There were times throughout the week when it looked like he was not going to win this tournament. And then there was times where it looked like he was going to win by 5 or 6. He's just always up for the fight. He's always up for the challenge. He just loves the competition. The par putts that he was making, again, when he was a little bit out of position, a little bit scrappy, I think it's fair to say this weekend he has not had his best stuff. His driver at least a couple times has abandoned him. His putter has gone cold at times. So the fact that he continually puts himself in position to win golf tournaments, even without his best stuff, is his most admirable trait. And it's the reason why he still has an opportunity in a head-to-head duel here against Viktor Hovland.
You know, Ryan, one of the things, whether he won or not, that I was going to, point to this morning was if this is the ebb season for him in this great window of production, it reminds me a little bit of Tiger in 2004 when he only won one time, and it was the match play, and he lived inside the top 10, and again, it just shows you that his production, he does not ever finish outside the top 25. But do you think that there is something, whether Hovland wins for the 8th time or Scottie gets to blackjack 21, that there is something about this win that could mean something significantly more? Let's start with Hovland. If this win and he goes through Scheffler, and Scheffler's finished second to him one time. It was not in a playoff. Same thing, Hovland's finished second to Scottie one time at the API in 2022. Let's start with Hovland. If he wins, he's mercurial. It's hard to start, projecting him long range. But what do you think this means for him if he goes through Scheffler on a weekend in a playoff?
I think it'd be more significant for Viktor Hovland than it would be for Scottie Scheffler, and here's why. Viktor Hovland said it's been an immensely exhausting 3 years as he's tried to rebuild his game back to where he was in 2023 and during the fall when he was arguably the best player in the world. He's gone down a lot of rabbit holes. He's cycled through a lot of swing coaches. He's cycled through dozens, if not hundreds, of swing thoughts and feels, just trying to find something. And the progress that he has made over the past month, had a good finish in Canada. The fact that he did not get deterred by one poor performance last week at the U.S. Open. Even though he missed the cut, he had a foul ball on the 12th hole that derailed his week. He spent 5 hours on the practice range at Shinnecock over the weekend and hit 312 balls, according to the USGA's range tracker, trying to ingrain the feel that he knew that he was on the right track. And so he actually came here, the Travelers Championship, with a lot of confidence. So I think regardless of what happens today, I think he can feel good about the progress that he's made, that he sort of feels like he's turned a corner and he's over the hump, whatever sort of cliche you want to use. But I think this would certainly be validation that Viktor Hovland is on the other side and he can really use this as a springboard. As it relates to Scottie Scheffler, I'm not sure exactly what it would mean. When you look big picture, this is the longest winless drought that he has had on the PGA Tour in 2.5 years. And we're talking about 5 months. The fact that this is now the 6th final group that he has played in and he's only searching for his second win is a little bit odd. But I also think that Scottie Scheffler realizes that today, and the fans are starting to stream in here, this is a little bit of a toss-up, right? You have two of world-class players playing the 18th hole. It's going to be a driver. It's going to be a wedge. It's just sort of happenstance and circumstance who's actually going to win. He has been much sharper, has Scottie, than he has been over the past couple months, particularly with his iron play. I think that can carry him into the Open Championship and certainly the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Look, it is just that. It is a toss-up. And I'm with you about the Hovland thing, but again, because his nature is to get lost in thought, and not all those thoughts necessarily can be positive ones, but you're right. He brackets miscuts and majors with the good result at the Canadian Open. Then he hits 312 balls, which is more balls than John Daly has hit since he won the Open in '95 at the old course. You mentioned the fans. Ryan, I don't know how much more evidence that the PGA Tour would need. They've got New England. The idea of we need Boston. You got Boston. You got Cromwell. You got West Hartford. You got it all right there. What has Travelers continued to prove about the necessity for them to be among whatever they want to call it starting in 28?
Well, look, full disclosure, this is the first time that I've covered the Travelers Championship. I get it. I totally get it now. I understand it. I see the players and caddies who are feted like kings. You obviously see the stacked field here. TPC River Highlands is an absolute blast, and there's a reason why the top players have always sort of had difficulty separating here, and it's why you see so many playoffs. It's why you see so many one-shot victories. The competition is always incredible. To me, this is the gold standard for signature events on the PGA Tour from an energy standpoint, from a community support standpoint. This embodies exactly what the PGA Tour should be trying to do with its new championship series in 2028. If you can build 15 events that are just like the Travelers Championship, that's the best product the PGA Tour could possibly hope for.
You're right, and as I mentioned, you have a collection of markets. It's the New England corridor. You've got the market cornered. Not to mention, you've got an existing long-term sponsor. You built all this equity with young stars who continue to go back even before it was a signature series event. You have the branding of the umbrella, all of it. Last thing, do you think on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock, holiday week, that we're going to have atmosphere like we had post-delay yesterday on 18?
I do think so. Just anecdotally, I'm watching at this point hundreds that have streamed through the gates. It opened at 8:30. I actually think they let them in a little bit early. It's not quite the Phoenix Open where you see fans, sprinting to get their seat on 16, but it is close where fans are really anticipating what could be a great playoff here. And Gary, you and I have covered a bunch of these. Typically, we hate the word playoff. We want these things to end as quick as possible. I can't be the only one who is waiting for 9 a.m. and be like, I would not mind at all if this thing goes 6, 7, 8 holes with this duel between Scottie Scheffler and Viktor Hovland. I'm anticipating the atmosphere to be electric for a Monday morning. I'm anticipating the golf to be very good as well.
As I said, if you want to give us a little Harris English Kramer Hickok rewind from 2021 when they went 8, that would be glorious. Thank you for carving out the time, putting this together. Greatly appreciate it. Hope we get you home today, get you some fresh gear. I'm glad you had number 15 ready and waiting for you since you only packed 14. Thanks so much.
Always a pleasure, G-Dub.
All right, there is Ryan Lavner. And again, their show Preempted for Live Golf.